This is Mike and Adam, fourth and whatever. So I always forget that 5 at this point. Is this 5?
6.
6. Man, so we're just rolling right along. So episode 6. We got some good topics, I think, for y'all today. Be a little bit of a shorter episode for us, but due to time-wise and everything with life and all that. But we're going to kind of really dig into some Tennessee football. We haven't had them as much in the last couple podcasts, so we want to kind of talk about Tennessee football. We're going to talk about kind of the success that Josh Heupel's had, and like, do we think this is going to continue, or we're going to have some down years, or what's going to happen there? Even going to discuss, do we think he's going to win a natty with Tennessee during his time at Tennessee? And then last but not least, we're going to discuss, do you have any game day rituals that we like to do before a Tennessee game or anything like that? I'm sure we all got our weird stuff that we like to do on that, but kind of just going to get right into it, I think, with this one, Adam. And when I was talking about earlier, kind of with the success of like Josh Heupel, if that's going to be something that's going to continue or not, obviously a lot of speculation around this season on how that's going to end up with Joey Aguilar being the quarterback, and I'm assuming he's the starter, and when Nico leaving, and a lot of things that's happened. There's a lot of I see a lot of mixed reviews, honestly, like how Tennessee's going to do this year. If it's going to be a down year for them, if we're going to continue some of that success and be competitive. Are we going to be great this year? A lot of different things that kind of seems up in the air a lot with it. And I think Tennessee fans, I think there's a lot of Tennessee fans kind of think maybe the same. We're optimistic, I feel like, just because we've been competitive the last few years, kind of no matter what happens there with Heupel, he seems to make them competitive. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be something that's going to continue on how his success has been so far, or it's going to step up, or are we going to go into a slump this year? Kind of, what do you think your opinion is?
Yeah, I mean, with everything, history repeats itself, right? At some point, you would like to think that Tennessee would get over that hump. You would like to see some sustained success in that program. I mean, I think we've touched on it before on not this episode, but past episodes. With Josh Heupel, man, it's just like it just feels right. I guess, for
Yeah.
lack of a better term, it just feels right. It seems like he is our guy with everything that he's brought to the program. We've touched on it before. The tradition, the passion. It seems like he instills a lot of that into the players, into the fan base. He's given us hope and everything like that. I think, he just completed year 4, and I don't really know the measuring stick that you should measure a head coach. It seems like in today's world, with college football and the way it is with money and, all that good stuff, you see
Yeah.
a lot of coaches get cut and get fired after
Yeah.
just a couple seasons. And I don't think that that's ever going to be enough time to establish what it takes to have success in college football, man. I really do think that Tennessee has maybe put all their chips in on Josh Heupel. It seems like they're giving him the time that he needs to build a program. Like I said, a lot of coaches, dude, they don't make it past year 2, dude,
Yeah.
And I think you've seen the growth, and I think that's probably why he's still there, honestly. But man, I think that you have to continue to get better, though. I mean, you can't, in order, like I said, to survive in this time period of college football, you cannot take a step back. Now you're gonna have stumbles, Arkansas, that's a stumble. South Carolina, that's a stumble. Missing the playoffs there in 2022, that was a stumble. But we were playing with house money in 2022. I think. I mean, I don't think anyone foresaw us making it that far and having that big of an impact on that season.
Yeah.
It's a ladder, man. We're at this rung right here, and we've got to just continue to climb. And I think we've got the right guy.
No, I think you're right, man. I mean, because he had success at with UCF and stuff before he came to Tennessee. And let's be honest, Josh Heupel, he inherited a dumpster fire when he came in. And I mean, I thought I didn't have like these great expectations because we had so many coaches in a row that just didn't do anything with it. And his first year, even, I mean, we didn't do like anything too great, but Hendon Hooker was able to kind of take over. We've seen some great things out of him, and was the true starter going into the next year, and of course we know the magical season he had with that. But there was definitely like some turning. It was the first year that he was there. For the first time in a long time, I've seen Tennessee get better throughout the season. And I specifically remember his first year and thinking, okay, there was improvement all season long. That's the first time a coach has came in and done that in a while. So I think that was the first sign for me that Josh Heupel was going to be the guy. And then obviously a phenomenal season the next one. I mean, I know we were disappointed with the South Carolina loss and Hendon Hooker getting hurt and not being able to make the playoffs that year. But we had a 10-2 season at that time and then won the bowl game for an 11-win season. Big bowl game, big win. Pretty dominant, really, over Clemson that year. I mean, I know their quarterback that was playing was or I think the one that came in that ended up playing was a freshman. I mean, and he's supposed to be the real deal. So I still think it was a very good team we faced. And so that year felt unsuccessful in ways, but if you look at it, we weren't meant to even be at that level. I mean, the defense was not nearly good enough to carry that. I mean, if we would have had last year's defense on that team, we had that conversation about that, how good
Yeah.
that team could have been. And so I think that team exceeded expectations majorly. And the only reason as Tennessee fans we were disappointed is because it was so close in your grasp to be able to get to the playoffs that year. It was right there. So, and South Carolina was a team we felt we were going to go in and win. So I think that's what was the disappointing mark for Tennessee fans is how close they were to that. And, the next year with Joe Milton was a little bit of a struggle as far as what we had seen the year before, but he still made the team be very competitive. We still, it weren't like we were, had a season where we were just losing a lot of games and getting blown out. It was a very competitive season, even with teams like Bama and stuff like that. And I wasn't really that surprised because I had my serious doubts about how Joe Milton was going to be. So, I mean, I like Joe Milton. It's not a knock on him. I feel like things I've seen, he seems like a great person. I knew that wasn't going to be the level that I felt like they needed to step up to because he was literally starting before Hendon Hooker, and I think he kind of got people's hopes up when he played so well in that bowl game against Clemson.
Yeah.
And I think we got to see how that really went. But then that season ended with a spark. Pretty big bowl game again, very dominant against Iowa. I know their offense was atrocious, so I mean it wasn't like I don't even know how they won as many as Iowa did that year with that. That defense was amazing, but that was another thing. We still moved the ball on that team and we still Nico gave that I think that they ended the season with a glimmer of hope of how good he was going to be.
Right.
And obviously it just didn't seem like Nico would perform to what he needed to, I mean, and I give it credit there and just say, I mean, it was his first real season of starting. So, it wasn't that he was terrible. I mean, and my thing is looking at that. If you look at the positives, Tennessee made the playoffs. I know it was a 12-team expanded playoff. They did make the playoffs. Yes, Ohio State did dominate them in the playoffs, but they also dominated every other team in which they played and won the championship. So when you look at that on paper, we keep getting, I think, upset with some things because something don't happen yet, and it's easy to want to jump right to it. But I'm glad they gave Heupel a chance because I do think he is the coach right now for Tennessee. And I mean, you think about beating Bama 2 out of 3 years, college playoff appearance.
Yeah, man.
I think he needs that SEC championship game. Everybody would like to see happen and get over that Georgia hump. Beat Georgia there. But I think that might be his next big goal to surpass. But and we know, well, obviously the goal's an natty. I mean, it always is. But you know what I mean. Just kind of getting over Georgia there and getting into that SEC championship game. A lot of Tennessee fans are wanting to see that too. But I think that most Tennessee fans like Heupel, and I think that this year is kind of a pivotal year for me and some of how his turning point will be, whether he's about to turn it up a notch or are we going to, because it is a year that we could be down a little bit.
Yeah.
Realistically, the quarterback situation and everything, we don't know how things are going to go. But personally, I feel like Tennessee's going to be competitive, though. I don't think we're winning it all this year or anything like that, but I do think Tennessee will be a competitive team. And won't be an easy win on your schedule or anything like that, like it's been in time past or anything. I think that Georgia coming into Knoxville, they're going to, have a game on their hands. And I think that even going to play like we're in Florida or Bama, I think those teams are going to, have a game on their hands there for sure.
Yeah, man.
So.
Right. I think the biggest thing with all that being said, kind of stepping back in time and looking at the most recent success that Tennessee's had,
Yeah.
just kind of really not a lot of people talk about it, man. But if you look at that 2021 season, I mean, there was a spark there from the
Yeah.
moment Heupel took over the program. And that kind of gets often overlooked because of what happened in 2022 and,
Yeah.
beating
Yeah.
beating Florida, beating Bama,
Oh
But
yeah.
I think the biggest thing to take away from the recent success of Tennessee is just that national spotlight. You
Yeah.
know, in years past, and it was because we weren't winning. Obviously, we weren't
Yeah.
getting the
For
results we
sure.
wanted, but we were in that shadow. I mean, it was a gigantic shadow of your Bamas, your Georgias,
Hmm.
Auburn, all those teams that's had success while Tennessee's been down. We were in the shadows of those teams, and like it does kind of seem like since this Heupel era has started, that the national spotlight has been kind of shined down on Tennessee. There's a lot more eyes on Tennessee. You've got celebrities coming to the games and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, of course, Morgan Wallen. Of course, he's from the area, but you've
Yeah.
got people like Theo Vaughn, Caleb Presley. I mean,
Oh
these
yeah.
guys have been on the sidelines for games and stuff. And in years past, I mean, I don't know that
No
you could
story.
have
Yeah.
paid a celebrity to come to a Tennessee game.
Yeah.
So,
No,
and
for
and
sure, man.
it just, I mean, yeah, the play on the field's been great. We've had some really good players, but I wanna just honestly say that you can attribute all of this to Josh Heupel since he's been there.
Look at the
Looking at,
recruit.
yeah, the recruiting's insane, and maybe we can dedicate an entire episode to recruiting one day. That'll take a little bit of research,
For
but
sure. For sure.
just kind of looking at some of Josh Heupel's notable achievements real quick. I think it's important to kind of look at what he's done in the past as well because it lays the foundation of what's to come in the future, really. I mean, at UCF is where he really kind of came on the scene as a head coach. 2018 undefeated season, reached a bowl game in all 3 seasons that he was there. His offense was ranked, and this is UCF, by the way, ranked nationally number 5 in 2019. So you take a team like UCF to be nationally ranked number 5 as an offense. That's insane. Of course, defense led the nation in tackles for loss in 2019 as well. So it's obvious that he knows how to build a program, and I don't think that there's any doubt in anyone's mind.
Yeah.
I would just completely 100% dismiss anyone that says he's not the guy for us. Of course,
Yeah.
his record at Tennessee speaks for itself. I mean, he's been doing great, especially the home record. I think the only thing that I have to kind of gripe about with Josh Heupel is just those random unnecessary road games where we just drop one. I mean,
Yeah.
big time moments, pivotal turning moments in the season where you need to go on the road and pick up a big time win on the
Yeah.
road against a big time SEC school. You can't win them all. That's the old saying. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
But man, if you could somehow get that turned around and not drop games like South Carolina, Arkansas, those types of games
Yeah.
on the
You're
road,
looking
man,
at.
you've got to somehow, like I said, you've got to somehow turn that around. I think that's the key in the next step.
Yeah.
I talked about that ladder a second ago and the rungs that we're on. I think
Yeah.
that's the key to making it to that next step, to be mentioned in the same breath as the Georgias and the Alabamas. That's what it's going to take, man, because those teams go on the road and they win. So, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
difference at this moment, I think.
I mean, like you said, South Carolina, you're looking at a playoff berth probably that year. Arkansas, we still made the playoffs, but better seeding or something, and that could have been a different outcome of who we played.
Yeah, you
Um,
shouldn't have lost that game. There's
no,
just
there,
no
there
there's
was
no
there was
reason to
not a
lose
game to
that
have
game.
lost. No, right. But yeah, I think Tony honing in on that, and I feel like he will. I think there's going to be
Yep.
in a continuation of the program in general. Heupel's bringing all this, and then it's also he's had a great time, dude. If you think about it, I mean, with the athletic director that Tennessee's got, who's phenomenal. I mean, dude, Tennessee, when they say, I mean, it is an everything school at the moment because
Yeah.
you got a basketball team consistently making the NCAA tournament, getting Elite Eight, Sweet 16. I know people give them a hard time because they haven't made the Final Four yet, but they're right there on the cusp of it year in, year out here lately. Baseball team obviously won the Natty last year. You got the baseball shirt there going. I mean, they won a straight up Natty. Had the team a few years ago that didn't make the College World Series, but dude was phenomenal team. They just
Yeah.
misfortune there at that point, but they look like the team to win all year. They've been ranked number one several times. Random sports too, man. I mean, just random stuff we've been good at. So, but Heupel being there during all this time, it's just creating his offensive capabilities and as a head coach, creating the tackle for loss that with defense. You see that a lot in the defensive line, stuff like that. We can
Yeah.
work in the secondary, obviously. There's things he's like shown there too. And for the recruitments, I think that's going to continue to help. And that's why I think even though this year could be, I'm not expecting something crazy, but like you
Right.
want it to be competitive because you want that to continue for your recruits and everything. Tennessee is a lot of people like to hate on Tennessee, because especially because we've not been that great for a while. And now
Right.
Tennessee's getting pretty good at football. People don't want to admit it. I know I think a lot of fans from a lot of other teams really truly don't want to admit that the Tennessee football program is, I'm not going to say back as far as winning the Natty, but they're back in the competitive world
Yeah.
of, of college
100%.
football.
Yep.
They're a team that is going to be a problem when you play them now.
Yep.
I think that a lot of people just don't want to admit that from like how long we struggled, but the recruitments and stuff recognize that, and so that's why I think he's going to continue to get better. But the question is, the big question of the day, and in your honest opinion, do you think Josh Heupel is going to win a Natty with Tennessee before his time is up there? Before he leaves, before he either leaves or whatever
Yeah.
ties
So,
or whatever happens, however long he's there.
right. So I think that goes back to the measuring stick that I referenced earlier. How do you measure success? And we both were born in the 90s. I know that's random, but
Yeah,
Michael Jordan was winning championship rings in the 90s. He won
yeah,
6 of them. I grew up a Kobe Bryant fan. That's five championships right there. And I
yeah,
know that's completely different from college football, but what I'm getting at is you are measured, your success in sports has to be, and I am a firm believer of will always be measured by championships. Josh Heupel's done an incredible job so far.
yeah.
I think that I think that now we are starting to slowly see the fruits of his labor in recruiting, and it seems to be getting even better, dude. I mean, it seems like every day when I look at something, whether it's on X or Facebook or whatever the case is, all these Tennessee athletics and football pages that I follow, the recruits that we're reeling in are awesome. I mean, you're talking about
Yeah.
4 and 5 star guys, top guys in their positions in the entire class. So to answer your question, long form, which I just did, by the way, I'm going to say yes, man. I think yes. Josh Heupel, before it's all said and done, whether he walks away from the game or moves to a different team or whatever the case is, goes to the NFL. We've seen that happen in the
Yeah.
past with coaches. I think Josh Heupel will bring home a national championship for the University of Tennessee, and I think it will. I think it will be from the cycle of recruiting classes. So
Yeah.
the guys that he has come in and handpicked and have moved through the program and learned the process and learned everything about it. I think I don't want to put a time frame on it or anything like that, but you're talking coming into this season, we're looking at year 5 of the Heupel era so far.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll happen this year. I'm not, I don't,
Yeah.
I think I think I can say that with a lot of confidence. Definitely not this year. As more recruiting classes kind of build and stack on top of each other, I don't think it's crazy to think that within the next 4 years, 4 to 5 years, with continued success, I'm talking
Yeah.
double digit win seasons from here on out. You might have a dip where you get 9 or something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna say 4 to 5 years, man. Heupel brings one home, dude. And it's just because of that, the grinding, recruiting, and just trusting his process and his scheme, man. I really do believe that.
I agree, man. I really honestly do. It's not just me saying it. I think before he leaves that he will win a championship. I'm not to
Yep.
say it couldn't be more, but I do agree with that recruiting thing. But I do think there will be one championship at least that he gets out of Tennessee while he's there, and um, with just based on how things are, based on the recruits, based on like the atmosphere increasing, and in all sports too. I mean, you've seen baseball flirt around with it for a couple few, I think it was like 2 or 3 years there before their coach got that win. You've seen them flirt around with it and get there. You've seen the basketball team flirt around with getting up to that area. I could maybe see one at some point for them if they can just get over that hump they
Yep.
get past that Elite Eight, man, get to that Final Four finally. I think there's
Yeah,
definitely
man.
potential there. They flirted with it, several years, and I think Tennessee football has been flirting with being great. They've had the moments of like, one or two games. I mean, and I know it's always one or two could go this way or one or two could go that way. Everybody that hates on it's going to say that, but
Yeah.
seriously, when you look at that time and time again, getting close to having making the playoffs last year, I mean that making the playoffs is such a step towards that, man. Because
Yeah.
honestly, Ohio State's proof that getting to the playoffs could change completely how you, dude. They were not playing that level that they did in the
Right.
playoffs. They
Right.
lost to Michigan the very last game of the season. Had several games they scraped by during the season. Quarterback
Hmm.
did not look great at all. Didn't look like he would even be a drafted NFL quarterback at all. I mean, let's be real, he
Yeah.
didn't. I mean, I even made comments. Ohio State fans, I'll just tell you, I made comments during the season. But their quarterback kind of sucks, and I mean, like out of nowhere, the playoff comes around, man. It just turned it on just like that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Once you get to that level, and like Tennessee making it there, if that can start to be a thing that happens a decent
Yep.
amount, I do think that during his era, he could be the coach to do it.
I think the program has already been set on fire, man. I
Yeah,
think I think the passion's obviously there. It never
yeah,
left, even through the darkest times
yeah,
of Tennessee football, man. It's like you give a fan base like we have a glimmer of hope, man, and we're gonna do our part at home
yeah,
games,
yeah,
everything like that, obviously. But it's there, man. We're on the cusp of it. I think a lot of people realize it. We just got to figure it out. We got to
yeah,
figure it out. We got to learn to have a championship mentality
yeah.
because, like you said,
Got to be
if
the
you
goal,
catch
man.
a yeah, if your team catches a hot streak at the right time, like you mentioned with Ohio State in the playoffs, dude, and just turn it on, I'm ready for it, man.
Yeah. I definitely as a fan ready for it, yeah. And we're not like a lot of people like talking about Tennessee fans being delusional, or every fan base is to an extent, but
Yeah,
we're not being that way. I'm not saying telling you next year, oh, it's going to be like '98, and all that
right.
feels like '98. They're winning it next year. I'm not getting it, and I'm not also going to be like, well, next year, maybe next year. No, I'm just saying like looking back at it, trying to
Yeah.
put obviously there's some bias and hope there, but trying to look at it as a football standpoint of what's going on around the organization.
Yes.
That's why I feel like it's going to get that way. And,
Yep.
talking about all this and like the fans and all the things they're doing. So as fans, what are we going to do to help with that? Do you have and what I mean there, is there a superstition or something that you like to do? I don't
Yeah.
like the word superstition, but, just something that you like to do out of like, I don't know what the word I'd be looking for with that is, but just and it's something that you think that okay, it's game day. It's like putting on your jersey, getting
Right.
ready for the game, right? What do you do? Try to most times as a Tennessee fan that you make kind of a habit that you do.
Yeah, so probably what, like a game day routine? Is that kind of what you were wanting to say
Yeah,
there?
something like that. Something that you would say you do before each game or something, or most games if you can, to
Yeah,
kind of, in your mind think, I'm gearing up to be a Tennessee fan. This is,
right.
people say rituals and all that stuff, but you know what I mean. Just like something that you would do like that.
Yeah, so I'll start off by saying I'm a big like, okay, if we won last week, I'm wearing the same thing next week. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Now, I don't, I don't go down as far as like the same underwear or anything like that, but
We're not like superstitious. We're just,
right.
we're
Now,
college
I
football
will
fans.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. I've had a pair of checkerboard socks, and if I had them with me right now, I'd put them up and
Yeah.
show the camera, but they're upstairs. But anyway, I've got a pair of checkerboard socks. Ironically enough, they are Adidas. They have
Yeah.
the Adidas logo on the
Okay.
side of them, so history repeats itself, like I said earlier. They're Adidas checkerboard socks, so that goes to show you how long I've had them. I think I probably bought them in 2013, maybe
Yeah.
2012, 2013,
Yeah.
somewhere in that time frame. Still wear them to this day for every game day. Um, so that's like one of my things. So Saturday mornings come around or whatever, sliding on those checkerboard socks first and foremost.
Especially
Um,
big games.
yeah, yeah, 100%, man, 100%. The 20, it's funny, the 2022 season, I wore the same jersey every game, and
Hmm.
that was a Reggie White throwback Tennessee jersey,
Okay.
which is really awesome. I'll have to wear it on the
Yeah.
podcast one day. So between that jersey and those socks, I go ahead and get suited up, pick a hat out. I'm not
Yeah.
really superstitious on the hat, but definitely the jersey and the socks I'm wearing every single game.
Yeah.
And then, I just get in that vibe, man. Always start out with College Game Day, of course.
Yeah.
Check that out. Might catch a few games that are somewhere between the time College Game Day starts and the time Tennessee plays, but I don't care to go run some errands or go do something after game day, unless Tennessee plays right after game day,
Yeah.
obviously.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of the extent of it, man. I focus. I mean, I lock in. Like
Yeah.
you would think I'm on like the staff or something, the way I'm like zeroed in and focused on the game.
Yeah.
I usually don't even sit on the couch, believe it or not. Like I'll pull up like a random chair. Like I've been known to grab like a dining room kitchen or dining room chair and put it like 5 feet from the screen and sit there the entire game.
Yeah.
The wife's like, "Why aren't you sitting on our comfortable couch?"
Yeah.
But it's just something that I do, man. And I'll usually pull up like a little table or like a little end table or something next to me, and I'll have my drinks and my food or whatever it is I'm snacking
Yeah.
on, and I'm in a zone. Like I'm just
Locked in.
locked in 1000%. When the Vols come on, I get super excited, chills. It's just the whole
Uh,
nine, man. Love it, man. But that's I don't know if that's a
it's not
ritual, but
bad.
that's just my little thing that I do, man.
Yeah, I think every college football fan, like I said, I'm not a superstitious person, but I think
Right?
every college football fan has the little things they like to do,
Yeah.
So I got a couple of things. One is like a before the season starts. It's kind of a thing me and my wife's just done the last couple of years. There's a wreath that I have. It's a Tennessee wreath that was gifted to us, and that goes on our door in place of our welcome like sign. My wife likes to do like holiday stuff. So like Christmas, we got something things.
Yeah.
Well, college football season starts for the Tennessee game. We hang that reef up, and that's the Tennessee reef that we have throughout the season. I don't have a bunch of Tennessee stuff I put up around the house. I don't make her do all that, but that's the
Yeah.
one thing that she likes to do. It looks nice too, so we put that up before the season starts. Another thing that I like to do at times. This is kind of like depend. I mean, sometimes you got to work or something. Things are going on, like maybe you're watching the game, but you're not really getting to like be in a chill area at your house or at the game or something. But when those times come, and I've got times where I can do this, I have a Tennessee koozie that I usually like to use. I usually like
Very
to use the
nice.
Tennessee koozies on a couple of them, and we like to use those on game day. And then the last thing, and just let everybody know again, me and Adam have not talked about this. We knew we
Ah,
were going to talk about our rituals, so I wore Tennessee socks for the last few years.
very nice.
Specifically, the last 2 years, 2 to 3, I guess, I've had them. I bought a pair of checkered Neyland socks, Tennessee socks, dude. No joke. Those are my go-to. If those are
Awesome, man.
clean, I will put those on, and I make sure they're clean for big games. And those are the socks that I put on, man. I wanted a pair, and I seen them, and I think I bought them in Gatlinburg actually.
Sweet.
I was in Gatlinburg and at this little place that had a bunch of socks, and I seen those. Those became my game day socks. I always had some other Tennessee socks that I would wear some, but those specifically now they're long socks, they're the checkered socks. I
Yeah.
like to wear those. So those are kind of my three things, man. Like I do,
Yeah.
the reef we call that like the annual like I don't know. It's like lighting the flame before the Olympics or something.
Yeah.
We
It's
just
almost like the kickoff or something, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
dude. It's like my kick. Yeah, it literally is like the kickoff to the season, man. So
Yeah.
we get to break that thing out in about a month here. So I'm
Yeah,
pumped for
dude.
that.
I think this year, kind of tying into your wreath, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a flagpole. I've actually talked to my wife about this. So we've been talking about putting an American flag up in the yard, but
Yeah,
there's someone that lives down the road from me, and I don't know if I'm going to do this, but they have a flagpole in their yard, and
yeah,
they got three flags. On the top, they've got the American flag.
yeah.
In the middle, they've got the Tennessee state flag, and then below that, they've got an orange flag with a big white power T on it.
That's
I'm gonna,
awesome.
I'm gonna do a little something like that this year,
Yeah,
I think. And
yeah,
every season, I'm gonna be like you out there with your wife in the
yeah.
wreath. I'm gonna be
Bring it, bring it.
unfolding my Tennessee flag, putting it on the rope, and raising that thing up, man.
I like it, dude. I'm getting like pumped now just thinking about it.
Yeah,
It
dude.
really is, dude. It's like
I might
it's just
even
so
put it
cool.
at half. I might even put it at half staff, like if we lose a game or
Lose or
something. You
something.
know?
That's hilarious. You got to have things like that, man. It makes it fun. And again, man, it's coming up soon. And honestly, like, with these episodes, though, just it makes me even more pumped just getting ready for it.
Yeah,
And this one, I know we didn't have a whole lot of time to get together on some things. Working some crazy hours this week, but
yeah,
and it's been a fun episode too.
yeah.
It always is. And we're gonna, a lot of these are gonna be like that. It might not be structured out as much to where it's like digging in. It's just talking, man, and talking
Oh yeah.
sports. And for anybody watching, make sure to like and subscribe. We're gonna have more things coming. There's gonna be times we're gonna be breaking down those stats and seeing those things you want to hear about too. And sometimes we're just gonna be talking.
Oh,
Let us know what your rituals are. I hate using the word, but let us know what your game day things that you like to do or preparation for the season. I like to think of it like, not athletes anymore, but like it kind of makes you feel like you're getting ready. So,
yeah, a little bit.
just let us know if when you're watching that, what you do for that for sure. Adam, anything that you'd like to add there or anything else for today, or does that cover it?
Yeah, I think it covers it. Just once again, I think it's always important to say thank you to everyone that is watching the
Yeah,
channel and
for sure.
that is subscribed. Keep supporting us. We do appreciate it. And like Mike said, leave us a comment down there. Tell us what your game day routines and everything like that is, man. We're really
Yeah,
looking forward to seeing some of that stuff from you guys.
absolutely. We appreciate you guys a lot, really do. So
Yep,
get excited when we see those some views on there, and it's a grind for sure. But we want to keep doing this, and we have a blast with it. So, but
100%.
Adam, until the next time, man, we'll got some new episodes coming out. So
That's
I'll see you
right.
later, dude.
All right, man. Take care, bro.
You too.